indeed. Oh yes indeed. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Red Owen coming to you live from our tour bus on a magnificent day here in Mullingar. The rain has not stopped since 10 o'clock and the grass has gone twice as green as it was originally. So let's start off our show with the 12 bongs on the Monday, holiday Monday. Bong, 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 bong. And we have a VIP on board who's going to give me 4 bongs, hopefully. Willie.
Bong, 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 bong.
Absolute legend, ladies and gentlemen, and very lucky to have him on board. We're going to have a little chat with Willie in a few minutes, but before that, we are going to do our little show first. As I said, in association, this is the 12 Bong Show at 12 o'clock with Ray Dolan in association with Love Foods by Richard Anthony. Yes, indeed, and what a fantastic service he's providing at the moment. Locally made food and artisan. That's a fantastic word. I love that one. If you want to check him out, we're going to give you some information in a few minutes. Okay, starting off with, yes, I think we better do the birthdays. Very important part of our show. Redmond Maguire is in Middleton. It's your birthday, happy birthday. And that comes in from Alice, wishing you a happy birthday. And we have Ingrid, and she is a neighbour of ours, and we're wishing you a happy birthday, Ingrid. And Gary Fagan from Mullingar, it's your birthday. And Emily Nally from Rochford Superstore, it's your birthday. And John Cronin, who is living in Cork, big shout out to you, John. And Meg Hogan, and she's in Rochford Bridge, happy birthday to you. And let me see, we have John Walsh, and he's in Maynooth, wishing you a happy birthday, John. And Monica Parker, living in Mullingar, it's your birthday. Paddy Dunn is there, and it's not the same Paddy Dunn, because that Paddy Dunn has left the building, but this is Paddy Dunn from Mullingar, but living in Doolin. Big shout out to you from your hometown. And Sharon Hill, who is in Kinnegad, wishing you a happy birthday too. Peter Berry, B-E-I-R-N-E, Bernie, hello to you and a happy birthday to you. And Anne-Marie Code, that fantastic photographer, born, bred and reared in Mullingar, as well as Dublin. Big shout out to you from Donal and Ryan, and not forgetting your love, the man who loves you so much, Michael. So yes indeed, that's our birthday shout outs. But let's get to messages from around the town. We have the Downs Bingo, which is going absolutely from strength to strength, giving away money left, right and centre, and tonight they'll be giving away more money on their Facebook page, so go to the Downs GAA Bingo. We've got a message as well from Aidan Maguire. He's been asked by many other social media platforms to go on board, but he sent us a message to say, look Ray, I'm sticking with the 12 Bong Show, so fair play to you. He's keeping it local, and if anyone wants to get involved in the bingo, you got to go and ring them on 087 203 9800, and that's if you can't get your book. They will make a book for you. But if you have a printer, you can make your book no matter where you are in the world and join the Downs Bingo. So ring that number, arrange a time for the collection of your book. The bingo, I think it was over $2,000 last week, so you never know. It could be more or less. Have a check anyway, and if you find out it's more, send me a message. Okay, Rory Farr, born, bred and reared in Mullingar, has retired. And this is very unusual because I do not feel like retiring and he's younger than me. So Rory, you've gone through, you've been working with the Departments of Justice for a long time. What is going to be your new job in your retirement? You're still very young. You said you're only 40. And Mullingar is, oh yes, that's coming up soon. Very indeed. Mullingar, we got fantastic news that Mullingar is going to host the Fleadh Cheoil 2022, and we have Willie here in a few minutes just to tell us a little bit more about it and how hard he probably worked to get it back here. Our food shout out competition winner goes to Love Food from Richard Anthony, and his phone number is 089 439 4057, and home deliveries as well. And as you can see folks, I'm looking at my book, but if someone is on television, they have a big yoke in front of them with all the reading going across. We don't have that facility yet on the bus, but we're working on it. And Facebook page recommendation goes to Anne Griffin, and that's a Mullingar writer, and she's a brand new book out at the moment, and she is going on a Zoom launch on the 6th, which is a few days in time, along with what's his name? Oh, I can't think of it. He's an Irishman. He's huge in England. And if someone can tell me, please tell me. Let me see. Shop local. goes to Derek Farrell Plants, and he is in just around Mullingar, well, not too far away, it's my valley direction. 087 689 7258. Check out his Facebook page and you will see all the beautiful plants that he has to offer you. Just give him a call. And let me see, David Gilsonen, it's your birthday. He's 39 years of age, and this comes in from Greengrass in Drummond. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear friends, happy birthday to you. Well, there you are, folks. We've got all the information shared out to you, and we're just going to turn our cameras around to the famous legend, ladies and gentlemen. Willie Penrose is on board the bus, and we are so lucky to have Willie with us. Willie, how are you keeping, sir?
Not a bother, delighted to be here. I'm glad to hear you wish happy birthday to my nephew, Gary Fagan.
Oh, right.
Who's a right good mandolin and guitar player. So he graduated from the Limerick School of Music as well. So
is he out in Abu Dhabi as well, no?
No, he's not. I think he might be thinking, he actually works in the hospital there, so he's a busy young lad, but he's a great musician as well, so hopefully we'll be looking forward to hearing him and so many others in August 2022 here.
Willie, the great news the whole town is talking about. Social media is on fire. Mullingar is back on the map for 2022 at the Fleadh Cheoil.
Well, absolutely, Ray, it's tremendous news. And look, we worked extremely hard. We have a great committee. Huge membership of that committee, volunteers under the chairmanship of Joe Conair, a wonderful chairman who's done a wonderful work, but a tremendous committee. Everyone had a huge input, and this didn't happen by chance or by accident. I can tell you that, Ray, and I think you're aware of some of the obstacles that were there and hurdles that we crossed. Notwithstanding that we had it for 2020 and 2021, everyone thought it was a shoe-in, and that you'd automatically fall into place and that. But things don't work like that. There's a lot of work to be done to win the confidence of everybody involved in Colas Coulter and to host it, because we didn't take on, Fleadh Fest, which is going to take place in Sligo, and it's an excellent thing, but we wanted the full traditional Fleadh. But we had committed ourselves to, from 2016, when we had a meeting at the, in Moat, doing a She Centre there at the AGM. Myself and Joe proposed that we'd go for the All-Ireland Fleadh.
2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yes, and listen, in the normal circumstances it takes about 10 years. Drogheda spent 10 to 11 years, Enna spent 7 or 8 years, Cavan spent 8 or 9 years. So everyone says that we get ahead in 2025 or 26. But we played a great role. We had a great committee, very active, utilising every way and forum that we knew and all our contacts, and eventually we won out against the odds, and to everyone's great surprise we steamrolled through Leinster and got it for 2020 and 2021. And of course the interruption caused by the pandemic and the COVID-19, that lays bare and lays waste the best man-made plans. There's always someone more powerful than man.
Correct.
And I think that has brought a big reality to ourselves, that we should realise that we don't have the power that we think we have, that there's something greater than us. And I think if we learn anything from this COVID pandemic is that. But look, we weren't eager to do a smaller versions. There was one done here last year. We weren't prepared to do that. And a lot of people then entered the fray looking for the Fleadh.
Yeah.
And I mean, one can understand, but it's a huge cultural event and a huge, pursuit, leisure pursuit, and everything that goes with it, and music and dance and song and Gaelic Irish culture and everything. But it's also a huge economic event for players. I mean, the benefit could be up to 50 million. And you're talking about at least maybe could be up to 500,000 people coming to the area. And that was a huge body blow to Mullingar.
A huge body blow to yourselves.
A huge body blow to ourselves.
As I said, so it was, everything went west, as I say, with whatever happened in the last year and a half. So what happened? Did you have to go and say, lads, we have to submit again, and off we go?
Oh, a lot more than that. We have a tremendous committee. We have a lot of professional people on the committee, and they wanted, our committee was run with the utmost level and the highest level of probity and integrity. So everyone who supported us, and a lot of people around the area did support us, with 2,500 and 5,000 and 900s and 50s and all like that. And indeed, we Mullingar Credit Union they were a major sponsor, and thanks. They're again a big voluntary committee, a voluntary organisation like the Credit Union. They were our main sponsor. Westmeath County Council behind us. We wanted to pay back all that, and we had paid money to Colas of the Earth, and we got that back, and we paid everyone back.
Wow.
So that we now are going back to the people.
Flat again.
Yes, but on a level playing pitch, that people know they can trust us.
Yeah.
And that, to give us money, we didn't waste it, we didn't dissipate it, everything was accounted for to the last cent. And that's Joe Kinnear and all our committee, Colette Flynn and Pauline Keenan, with people in that committee, Neve, Sumpta Fox, people who are very, very careful with cents. They're not just careful with euros, they're careful with cents. And that's the great thing. I'm very proud to be a member of that committee, as indeed or other people. Because that's the first important point. You run things right, and you gain the confidence and trust of the people out there. So we're going back now to the people. We eventually, we're working hard now since last October, quietly behind the scenes, and I know you were aware of some of the events. It was tough going. At times there, I think around Christmas or January, I think you made contact with some of us, and it was less than 50-50. But we got back on the pitch and got a lot of support and rallied the troops. And over the last month, things, as the fella says, the tide turned strongly in our favour, to put it that way.
Excellent.
And then last Saturday fortnight, we had a fairly significant meeting with the Fleadh 22 committee and with the Bun Cuiste, which operates Colas level, and our jury, or Lowers and Murku. And look, we were pretty happy on that. And then we approached the local authority, and Pat Gallagher, Chief Executive, and the membership of the local authority were always 120%. Because if you don't have them, it doesn't happen, because the local authority are an integral part set up. But this, notwithstanding that their support is critical, and the support of the business community is critical, but without the volunteers that we have, it wouldn't happen. So, it is a Colas-led Fleadh. It's not being run by the local authority or by Ray Dolan or Willie. It's a Colas-led Fleadh, led by and the reason that it's so important, and Mullingar, and your bred, born and reared, and a musician of great repute, and all your family, it's so important to Mullingar, obviously, because this is where it was founded in 1951, and we, the homecoming was the signature thing of it, and bringing it back to its roots. And if ever any group ever wanted, we were committed to bringing it back to its roots. Finbar Fury and loads of those people play below Mickey Hughes' corner. We know it as Mickey Hughes' corner there. Jimmy Bennett's the old part. They're all gone now, but that's where it was. And we want to reincarnate that again. Bring it back to you'll be going around and you'll be saying, look at Finbar Fury, except that he's now, instead of 1963, it's 2022. It's almost 60 years later. And there he is. And he has young nephews playing the banjo. I think some of them are around Mullingar here. And we'll get them in. So we want to reincarnate everything. We're going to bring back the march in the old Fleadh when Foster was there, and you had him on a few weeks ago. You should have asked about the big boining jumper, the ones that Aaron swears from the west of Ireland, that they make him and Clancy. And when in '63, when he was sitting on the thing playing the music, I think he won his first All-Ireland then. He nearly went on fire, he says, with the boining, with the swears.
Well, would you believe that story? That's that story, but our story is Joe and the band played on a bus or whatever, and who escorted them and walked in front was my mother.
God bless us. I tell you, but that was the warmest day ever. The tar was coming up through the thing, and you hear lots of people. I need one woman there in Mullingar to give me a programme belonging to her father, and all the thing, the tar, they're walking, and the tar was attaching to their keys. But Foster tell you, we want to bring it back to its roots. That everywhere Ray Dolan goes, if it's in College Hill in Mullingar, if it's in Lynn Heights in Mullingar, that somebody at the bottom of that hill will be playing a string of music. We want to widen this out, get it into the tradition that every corner in Mullingar, that the pubs will obviously be playing and the music playing, but every corner outside that you can sit and listen. And the way we want to do that is, the busking has taken over the Fleadh. Now, unfortunately, busking means me sitting there with a little box in front of me and collecting money. And I understand that, as somebody come from a poor economic background, I understand that. But at the end of the day, when you come to a Fleadh, it's not busking you want. You want to get the very best musicians in the country out on the street, and you listen to them. And the very best musicians, we don't want to compete with people who are busking. And notwithstanding, some they can be tremendous musicians. But we have this idea that we'll try and get that off. We're sending out word to everybody. It's going to be a non-busking Fleadh.
This is the plan,
This is the plan, and that we had the town park. If you want to busk, and if Ray
Oh,
Dolan
yeah,
and the
yeah.
family wants to go down there, bus God you like.
Oh, you're going to have the park for
yes,
anyone who wants to bus.
And the bandstand that he's all played in.
Yeah.
And there's 70, 90 acres, beautiful there.
Yeah.
But and when people want to go down there and give them a couple of euros, and I do it myself, pay them. So great, but we want the main streets there to be kind of busking free. And Joe Kinnear has this big thing. He's a traditionalist at heart. He's a lot of his people, cousins and everything, playing with the Kilfenora Kelly band, and we'll have Dunn here, and we'll have Tom Diskin, the Shaskeen, and we'll have the Bridge Kelly band. We'll have people that you won't, and we're very, very lucky. We have a huge voluntary committee, but we do have to send out, and this is a very, I better say hello to my own daughter. She'll be watching probably out in Dubai.
Yeah.
And she's looking forward to coming home. And they have a bit of Irish music going on now, I hear, as well, with a group over there.
Yeah.
Playing a couple of nights a week. But I do want to say to everybody, we do need volunteers.
Exactly.
We need 1,200 volunteers to make this work.
Like, what type of jobs are the volunteers we do?
Well, look, I mean, you know yourself, going around the town, even showing people. Remember, people are coming from north, south, east, and west.
And the world.
At 25%. Just say, look, give us a figure. Just say we had, let's cut down the thing. Let's say there's 300,000, and this is all assuming we're free of COVID. We're all that, or we're as close to being free, or we're all vaccinated, and we have booster vaccines, and we have the antigen test. And look, let's look at that scenario. But it's all circumscribed by the COVID situation. But just say we had 300. 75 to 80,000 of those people are coming from mostly Europe, but they do come from Vietnam.
Yeah.
And they play in the competitions.
Yeah.
They come from Australia.
Yeah.
They come from Brazil. They come from North America. They come from Canada. They come from all over the world, which is bringing huge internal revenue into the place.
And culture.
And culture. And correct. And integrating with our own culture. And those guys over there, lots of musicians goes across the world from here. We had one of our own musicians there playing on the tour there not too long ago, the big tour, Fiona Callahan, very good banjo up there. And we have several musicians who go abroad there and playing, because we're very, very lucky. We have 7 great branches here, and they're all producing, a magnificent flow of musicians. So we won't be short of musicians, but we do need volunteers. So if there's anyone out there today that's watching the radio and the bongo, the last time I heard 12 bongs was when I used to go to St Mary's up in the 70s, and the early 70s. So it brought me back.
That's where I got it from.
And you'll be waiting for that. You'll be looking forward to lunchtime.
Exactly.
We all like that. And it's lovely. And then the smell of Malali's going up the road and taking there in the morning. But anyway, we do need volunteers. Fleadh Cheoil, Bernie McHugh, Colette Lynn or Secretary, all those people, they're ultra efficient. But by girls, we need names into them. Julia Dalton and Dunn, they're all involved in this. I just can't the names, but those are people who are waiting there to take volunteers. And the second thing is, the big thing is going to be, and I understand people being a bit nervous. Maybe we know we're only a 30% vaccination level. We need to get to 85% to have some degree of comfort, and I think we will by the end of August, early September, have that way. But what we do need is accommodation. Accommodation was a little bit slow the last time.
Okay.
Now, and we do need, and look, I mean, it's a great opportunity. Somebody in Lynn, I know you lived in Lynn Heights for many years. I'm going to use that as an example, or Belgrove or Bell Beachview or wherever it is, wherever they have a house. They can they negotiate themselves. We will put them in contact with the Penrose family who are coming here. A lot of those people are coming to the Fleadh all their lives, really. And they're coming and they want to get a nice family place. And you get them for year 1, you get them for year 2. They come back. But we did that in Sligo, we did it in Ennis. You go and.
So a cultural thing, back to basics again.
And you get a few quid, you might get 900 euros, a few quid might help you go on holiday. But we do need people to open up their doors to help. And there was a lot of people, I remember one lovely lady ready to give a room and all the school, we had all these facilities and that, and she was ready to cook the breakfast, and we were going to get her in with maybe husband and wife, and that's a suit. That's the type of thing. The husband and wife might be coming and they might take a little place like that to live with somebody for the week and that. But we want to make sure that there's a huge economic benefit for everybody involved right across. And it's not just Mullingar. This stretches out the whole of Westmeath. Kinnegad, down to the bridge at Kinnegad, the bridge at Lone, to the bridge of Finay, the bridge going out Ballycorky, down in Legan and Ballycarriga, right across the country, down to Tang and everywhere. It'll stretch you to Longford, they'll benefit. It'll stretch up beyond Kinnegad, they'll benefit. Ballivor, all those places. We had a place in Ballivor who were offering their accommodation. So we want to reach out to everyone that you have watching this valuable programme here that we thank you for giving us the opportunity here today. We want to reach out to those people, get in contact with fleadhcheoil.ie, the accommodation and the volunteering. That they're essential. The support of Westmeath County Council, Pat Gallagher and the Chief Executive Officer, and indeed Deirdre Riley, who's acting Director of Services here for the town, and the Paul McCool area engineer for the area. Those are all absolutely critical. Westmeath County Council and the financial contribution will be critical as well. The members are there. We're very lucky. We have a far-seeing membership who knows that this is critical. And Ray, you're in the business and you've lost out a lot over the music thing over the last 2 years, and you know what it means. But even this is a huge psychological fillip and a boost to people's morale. Everyone is down and you feel a bit down, and okay, you got through the first lockdown and kind of a bit of vibrancy, and then the second lockdown knocked a bit of the window, and the third kind of one knocked you back a good bit, and people were down in the dumps. But hopefully this, with the news of the vaccine rollout and more people getting on, and society beginning to open, that this is another fillip that will support the 10th of May big opening, that people will still have to wear their mask. I have it here beside me, but I'm vaccinated a bit, and you are as well. But we have to make sure that we're in crowded environments, that we behave properly and wash our hands and
that'll all come, be natural by then.
It'll be natural by then, but hopefully it won't be as strict, that we're able to have a bit more freedom. But we need now. Then we have to go back now. Yesterday I spoke to the bishop. I have to say, Bishop Dean and the priest and Reverend Alistair and all of those people. The amount of work and the support that we get from them. Let's acknowledge all the various Christian groups here that have been 100% supporters. The managers of this post-primary schools, the teachers, the principals, post-primary, primary, all of that accommodation. Hubie McGee and Patricia, the band hall, giving us where you learn your own bit of music. Now they have a tremendous job done and great work done there. I'm glad to be able to support them in that over the years. And they're handing us. There's so many people. There's tentacles everywhere.
That's right.
And we cannot thank those people enough, because without proper facilities, accommodation because remember, this is built around, the first is the competitions. Everyone who wants to win the All-Ireland. We're quite happy to participate. Participation is the first thing, but when they do come, they want a good venues, and we have great venues here.
Unbelievable.
A lot of new venues there, like Curramore School there now. A wonderful school. Took a while, but God is great there now, and educate together.
The cathedral is going to be used.
The cathedral is going to be there, and indeed Bishop today. I know that Bishop Dean is in contact. He's a great friend of Martin Hayes, who's a wonderful musician, all those. And you will have Martin Hayes in the cathedral at the behest of our Bishop of Meath, Bishop Tom Deanan, and the priest of the area, and indeed the priest of the diocese. And I know myself, Father John Nally, and they have Mullingar. He's now PP up, and I think he's at Ashbourne, a very big parish up there. He was instrumental in supporting it. Father Paul Crosby, I think he's PP, I think he's Trim or somewhere he is now. He was the local minister. He was a great man for supporting it, and we look forward to welcoming all those people back. The amount of goodwill, I don't know why. Mullingar, look, yourselves and Niall Borden and Breslin, and Foster and all of that, huge. But we have huge musical. It's every genre of music. It's not just we cover it. But our traditional area is huge. We were a great Uilleann Pipes area out.
That's right, Ballycarrigy,
Ballycarrigy. You wouldn't believe that. Like Joe Kilmurray, Jimmy Kilmurray is out in Australia. Jimmy will be booking, the minute he hears of this, Jimmy is out in Melbourne. Jimmy will be booking his, if you're reaching Jimmy Kilmurray out in he'll be booking his plane back in August to Mullingar.
Right.
I know he booked with Collins for the previous ones. So that's only a simple example.
Yeah.
Him and the family, they're big into traditional music, but his late uncle Joe Kilmurray was one of the great pipers. If you go to School of Music in Sligo, Joe Kilmurray records and CDs are up there. One of our own in Ballycarrigy. We have great musicians. We have a great Fleadh Cheoil in Ballycarrigy. We have one in Doonashee and Moat there, the Gandhis and all those down there working extremely hard at that and keeping the thing together. Brendan Doyle and that we have all over the place. We have wonderful people. We have the Frank Gavigan branch. They're big. Hopefully they'll be able to get their concert now in October. They're around the early first week of October. I mean, the late Frank Gavigan, of course, was well known to all the Dolans.
We related to him.
It's a relay to him, and there you go. So the only thing the Dolans didn't pick up the accordion and become great musicians like Frank.
Well, we have one, Rose.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Rose, who's a member of our branch.
Yeah, Rose.
Yeah, Michael, and oh God, she's one of the, and of course she's good at everything. She's a great equestrian rider, and she's good at academically, and she's everything. But we knew that Rose was going to make it, but we hope that Rose goes back into the, because she's an All Ireland champion in the making, and of course we throw back the Gavigans and that. So look, we have such a wide array of things. It's so exciting. Yeah. And I know the day is bad and it's overcast and it's raining and the grass is growing and I'm useless. My wife would say at home I do nothing around the house, and she's probably right. But the grass will probably go into the wind and they wouldn't see it. But look, today is a good news day, and I know that Joe Kinnear and all of our group are absolutely thrilled, and we are so eager to make a success of this. But it's a community success, and you know, I know business had gone through an awful tough time. Yeah. And all the business, the music business, it got particularly hard hit, and of course the retail businesses, and particularly the publicans, whom we will be dependent upon. We will be calling upon them. I know it's not easy, and now when you look at it, but nevertheless, you know, they rallied to the cause the last time, and I've no doubt they will rally again. And what I would say to publicans is this. There were going to be that many musicians yesterday, Sunday evening, and there's only announced a couple of hours, and fairness, you were on this like a shot to ask me in, but within 6 to 8 hours, we had an absolute clatter of people from Cork, Derry, Galway, Clare, Limerick, and other counties onto us. Musicians from Donegal, Cardorny, all those people onto us. Yeah. So I'm saying to the public now, and Joe Kinnear has stressed this out to them, they're not going to be in as good a financial position. So where we're saying to them is, this Fleadh is an opportunity for them. Okay, they'll have to contribute to try and help us, because it's going to cost us €1 million, and we can't bring it in confetti. I know that, you know, I mean, we'd love to, but confetti doesn't work when you have to pay for various bits and pieces. Yeah. And we're very lucky that the bishop intervention, and indeed the Reverend Alistair and them, they're saving us €125,000 outlay by providing cathedral and various venues to us. So that's what they're doing. Wow. So that's huge, and we have to acknowledge and appreciate and be very thankful for that. But what I have to say to the public is, okay, we will be round, and we'll be starting now in the next few weeks, just when they get back open again, talking to them, not demanding them, but telling them how we do need a bit of help. But what we're saying to them in return, Ray Dolan, you have a pub, and your brother has it here. Do not be hiring any music. Put out that nonsense, paying out. And that's maybe bad news against you, but I'm not saying to you, no music. The music is, we'll put in 5 or 6 good players there. Look, someone comes to us and says to everybody, oh, we've gone out to Dolan's. Well, there you go, ring Adrian, there you go. Put in, and they'll play for half the day. Doesn't cost a penny, maybe a pint or two and a bit of sandwich. That's it. So cut out this nonsense of hiring in. We saw the last time we gathered that, and we're a bit disappointed with, people were engaging maybe kind of quasi-rock music in the middle of it or something like that. That doesn't work. This is a traditional Fleadh. Put out that nonsense about rock and jazz, and that's they're great. I love all those.
Yeah. We'll leave it out for that week.
Leave it out for that week. Let's bring it back to its roots. Yeah. Let's pay homage to the people who founded the Below O'Reilly's Hotel, which is bound again beside where your own brother is as well. That's exactly it. The stone is outside his door. Yeah. Let's go back there. We'll be doing a pageant there. We'll be using, hopefully, he gave us permission the last time, I'm sure he will again, to use it as a place to do the pageant. We're going to reenact the original meeting.
Go away.
Yes.
Wow.
We're going to reenact them. Look, we're going to make this a traditional thing. We're going to acknowledge the people of Westmeath, the Moynahans and the Reynoldses and the Series of Milltown, great family there, great families, along with others who were involved in the people in the Air, the Piper Club of Ireland. A lot of those were involved. Willie Reynolds, the late Willie Reynolds of Walterstown, Jim Seary of Milltown, and the Moynahans, of course, who were key to this whole thing here in Mullingar, and still are. You know, we have Coleman still a trustee of the national organisation, Colas Coulter and Aid on a great player as well. And they were all in here, and they were all great people as board. But that's we want to pay and acknowledge and pay homage and treat this with the respect with which it has. We have missed the 70th birthday, which is gone, but this, we're going to turn it into a kind of a belated 70th birthday, which you will often do, say we missed the birthday last month, belated, so it'll be belated, and our effort is that when we do such a good job in it, we hope to get ahead for 2023. Well, there's no guarantee of that yet, but look, we'll be putting the pressure on, saying, look, everywhere else got it, we suffered an awful rebuff because of COVID, because as you said, so much work, sweat, blood and tears got into it. And I saw Joe Kinnear and the committee members almost in tears.
Oh, it's naturally enough.
And I know you had him in here one day, here about 6 months ago, putting on a great show. He put out the banjo, you're going to play a few tunes and everything, and he was delighted with that because the man was almost, I mean, he put his life, I mean, he's young, he's a family man, he's like us all, and I'm just using him as an example of all the committee. You're pouring Keane with a very young family as well. Those people, and Joe, they have young family. The hours that they have spent away from their family, the hours that they have spent, you wouldn't believe it, Ray. I mean, okay, I'm finishing the politics now, what, about 15, February, that's what, 15 months near enough now.
Wow.
But I haven't noticed them away from politics. This thing has become the sub. And I'm in, and I'm out on phone calls, and I'm on to this one. Yesterday I made 16 phone calls related to this.
God.
You know, so I mean, which you have to be...
And they were long phone calls.
Oh yeah, well, long phone calls. Usually pretty short when you text me. You're clever enough. But I got back to you as quickly as I could. But the point about it is, I'm only one. I'm all of our secretary Colette. She's on top of her school trying to get things. But we have 7 great branches, and we know they'll now be part of the Fleadh Fest this in Sligo. And that's very important in August. We're playing a role in that. Our musicians, we're going to do 2 hours to be television. It'll be presented. Our musicians, our 7 branches will do 2 hours, and that'll be presented, and that'll be part of our county thing. It'll go to the provincial thing, and that will be set on then to the All Ireland Fleadh Fest in Sligo. And you have very good people there, Bartley Gavin and Michael Brennan there, and Peter Farrell and them. They're doing great work, and I have to acknowledge the great help that they were to us. Because they were, Michael Brennan, they're a stalwart. We have Pádraig Donnan involved in the Mary Whelan in Dublin. Those are people we never can forget. They stood with us loyally through thick and thin, and we acknowledge all those great people, and that was important, because at the end of the day, in order to win this Fleadh, I knew something about how to win a thing, because you had to get votes, and we had to cultivate and great friendships and everything. But when we brought them to Mullingar and showed them, I never forget, and I think you were there, the lady across from the Gravel Arms come out with a cake done in a banjo, and that woman was our heroine. I mean, you're there yourself with people coming out shaking hands. That was very important. That made a huge impression. You wouldn't believe the number of votes that turned. We knew there was one county who was going to give their 6 or 8 votes they had to another county. Because of that, we won. So that day in Mullingar, the cold November day, it was a cold November day, you were there, and there was a fair play to Christy May and Cochrane. They had lovely hot toddies there. I'm a pioneer, but they looked great and that day, and whatever you call them. I'm not very well up in drink, but they looked very nice, appetising anyhow, and that made a big impression. But I remember that lady across the road, and I hope she does a great business in her cakes and for birthdays.
Was it Deborah's Cakes?
Deborah's Cakes. That's good, man.
Go away.
She was absolutely. She played a big. When she come out,
she's South African.
Well, there you go. She played a role.
Yeah.
Because when we went up to fight the thing at the next meeting, somebody says, "You've even presented a cake with a banjo on it. Should we eat? How could we forget to vote for you? We eat it."
Yeah,
you know, we eat it. And so there's that lady.
But as well as that, I think the most important thing as well is we've so many cultures in our town at this stage. This is, as well as that, we need to go back to our future.
Yes.
And we need to learn and show all the people as well who probably live in the town wondering, my God, is this Irish culture? This is the way Irish culture works. And as well as that, it brings the people of Mullingar together on a most important 70 years, is that right? Yes,
70 years, 1951. There's gone out there in April, March, April, 50. Well, but it's going to be 71 next year, and we will certainly have a massive big birthday party. But you're right. I think it was one school. Was educated together about 35 or 40 different nationalities in it. And I spoke to the principal there, and gee, what a wonderful achievement to integrate everybody. We're all their part and get them to absorb, and they could. A lot of those young children I remember in their school speaking Irish better than we. You'd be almost ashamed you're lost. And those who speak in Irish, then integrate into the Irish music and everything else. And look at, we have, as I said, Vietnamese young people playing music and not so young. And I see in our own branch, look, people in their 70s taking up the banjo or the mandolin or taking up the accordion. There's nothing that can't be done if you put your mind out it. And we Irish are the people to do it.
One question for you before we wrap it up. Why are you so passionate about Irish music? Do you play something yourself? Where does it come from, Willie?
Well, I don't know. I mean, so there was a connection with there's Penrose is there. Married. My great granduncle was married to a Keenan.
Right.
And the Keenans were great pipers. And Joe Penrose, my cousin, and Liam Penrose, and them, Henny Penrose. Henny used to play the bowron.
That's right.
And Henny would be related to them. Henry was a son of that woman.
Right.
And there's a big connection there. And I remember the Furies was down. Poor Trudy Penrose died. A very young girl, lovely girl, died in her early 30s. And Eddie Fury and Finbar, they were down at the funeral. And they have people, I think, buried up in Kilmacnevin there, Ballincarriga, and they go there. So I don't know. It took off from that, but I always had this thing. We have I want to see one thing about Ballincarriga. I'd love to see, there was a Tristan O'Kelly band, Mick Begg and Joe Boyce, Gary's, all them, and Dinah Gary's father, late Mick Gary, and they played a big role. The biggest, the Enoch in Tristan was the biggest event outside of anywhere.
Right.
In Enoch, Tristan was a big, Tristan Abbey over there. It was a huge, it was the historical centre of Ireland. And there was a huge committee over there. Willie Rouse or Leo Rowsome and all them, they all come there. And we have all the history of that. Dinah Gary, very thankful to her for finding all that history. And Damien Maher, the topic, put it all together. Damien there, and I wish Damien and especially Claire every success. She's under a bit of tough times with health now, and a lovely great support of ours. And I wish her a speedy recovery. And God, she's a great fighter, and we're with her every step of the way there. But Damien did a great job in that. We have so many people. But Ballincarriga was a place that I loved. I wish I could play something. Now, my daughters are good musicians. But I started playing a tin whistle, and I remember this little girl one day, Anne says to her, "How is Willie getting on?" Well, she says he's pure useless. And it was a great, you can't be the child for telling the truth. And I was there, like somebody says.
And when did you take up the...
I took up the tin whistle with Enda Syria, and I think I'm the only pupil that ever failed Enda. So it's not a very good, and I was like a rat. Did you ever hear a rat scraping at a bass? And I was like that. I couldn't get those big fingers on it. That's why.
But your passion comes from all this history around Ballincarriga.
All this history of Ballincarriga.
Yeah.
And it was great people out there. But this Enoch was the great thing. And that, Leo Rowsome then used to fly in. There was actually a plane dropped into the field out there. And the only time it was off was during the war. So it was in the 30s and into the 40s and that. And there's some great people out there, late Joe Boyce, great fiddle player. And so I saw this, the Piper Dolan from down in League, and there was all great people, Ardandra, they were all great people, musicians. And Willie Reynolds come to our place in the 60s, and Lord have mercy, my mother, then we didn't have any money. Because Lord, Willie Reynolds was sure doing it for nothing. Yeah. And we still, if you did it for mine as nothing, we still didn't have any money, we're poor. And so like everybody else, every other family at the time. So we didn't take the opportunity that was there. But I always thought that if we got a chance, and in 2012 we re-established Cultus of Ballincarriga, because there's always been a Cultus lineage of Ballincarriga, and we done up the old courthouse. And funny enough, we took down that courthouse. All the timber work was done in it by the late Larry Cunningham, on your own.
Go away.
And Larry used to cycle from Granard to do that work in the 50s. So we took that out in 2013, and with the help of the Westmeath County Council again playing a positive role, we have a very fine shop Ceoil with your own niece and everybody attended, and that, and we have a very strong branch there. Great music, great, absolutely wonderful tutors, led by Joe and Anya Rahely, and she comes from the famous Rahely family who won 4 All Irelands in Meath. She's married locally there in McGowan's, Anya McGowan, and Jackie O'Mara, we have Enda Siri, Joe Kinnear, we have a host, I'll probably forget somebody now in the middle, and Niamh, my one daughter's doing the set dancing, and we have a huge amount of set dancers, and they kept doing it during the Zoom.
Brilliant.
This Zoom drives me mad. I hate it. I'm technologically stupid and illiterate, and I don't want to be, because as far as I see technology, it's only getting rid of jobs, and I'm pro jobs, and I don't believe in. But anyway,
Willie.
So anyway, but that's me. But I'm a dinosaur. I'm dead with the ducks, as I say. But I do. But still, I see her teaching with the Zoom. I see Jackie and Mary, see them all. Joe, they're all able to do this thing with Zoom, and so they're still keeping it up now. There's nothing better than face-to-face doing an interview here.
Exactly.
You could do this and even...
There's no connection.
There's no connection, and you're able to connect, and you're able to stop me and interrupt and get the right question. But I think that's how it works. And every branch is across the same. We have branches from Northwest Meath, Clonrail, right across the area, back to Moat, and back into Ballymore, and back into Milltown and Mandycarriga, back Mullingar branch here, of course, Noel Battle and Monica and all those people doing great work here, and Siobhan Cunner and all those, they're great musicians, all teaching, and next John Burns, an excellent musician par excellence, Paul Taff. Where would you get them? You travel the world, you wouldn't get a look in with them. But they're all great musicians, and you know, I know Joe had a big group down there in the chambers there every Thursday night.
That's right.
And they're still kind of in contact. They're probably looking in now. Yeah. They're a great group and a great following down there. And so all the pubs bought into it, all the business bought into it. But we'll have to get them all. We'll be back on the road probably in June or July when we get a little bit open, and we'll be going around to them, and we'll be appealing to all the business. Every little bit. Every little bit helps. I think there was an advertisement, every little bit helps. Every little bit we get towards the €1,000,000 of running it, will certainly help us. And I genuinely would appeal to the business, not directly, immediately, but start thinking about it and how we can work together to raise the necessary finance. But I have to say, there's a lot of businesses around Mullingar who were not going to gain anything from this. Mm-hmm. But who were the first to put their hands into their pockets and pull out their cheques. And I'm not going to name them. They're well known themselves. I went round to a few of them. But we certainly got between 2,500 and 5,000 from about 6 or 8 of those businesses. Now, and they wouldn't, look, Ray, they'd have a better chance of winning the lottery than gaining something from it. But I remember one businessman, and he said to me, look, Willie, I'm from Mullingar. I know that, but he says, wants to benefit Mullingar and bringing some big national and international event to our town. He was very proud of that. Totally. And after all, we're the geographical centre of Ireland. We're perfectly located, confluence with roads and everything, bringing people in.
And a ring road.
And a ring road and everything. Yeah. And we had everybody, with people providing lands for parking, and we had Fagans at Coleman, the equestrian centre there, the Fagans there, business people, Mark Fagan, they were all bought into it. Yeah. They're working with a group that I was involved in, going to provide parking and camping facilities and all like that. So look, a lot of work has been done, and there's still more to do, but we have the base of it done, and I have no doubt that we have a great leader in Joe Kinnear. Without him, we'd give up. And we're probably a nuisance to him, maybe ringing him and annoying him, and he's so much other work too, annoying Colette and she, two eyeballs, Ryan Porrick, annoying everybody, annoying Bernie, and the like of me rambling down the phone to him over something else. But they all were so fastidious and great. Linda here, she lives here beside us, she's involved with us as well. There's so many people. I mean, you couldn't think of all the people that's involved.
But it's like you setting out the whole thing, and I can feel the enthusiasm, and I can feel the passion. And literally, when you light someone up with the passion, you go, "They're in, we're in."
Yeah, well, that's the point. And for a small few months there, or limited months, and I think you were aware of this yourself. You didn't say anything, but it looked to be slipping away. But now we're back, and we're announced yesterday on RT by our Stuart Lowers, and we're very thankful to the 32 members of our Cora who supported us unanimously. That's the important thing, unanimously. Nobody was, but we made a good presentation again, and deep down again, the committee worked so coherently and so cohesively and stridently to present that, and to make sure that they had no choice but to put us back in charge.
What is the date, Willie?
It's the first Sunday. It'll be the first Sunday in August to the last Sunday. Well, look, as Foster would say, sure to take off and it'll make its own way after that, once you get it up and running. So the first Sunday in August and right through, and he'll be there with the big boining that he wore in 1963. I still think he has it.
There you are, folks. We're wrapping her up here with Willie. Thanks a million, Willie. You're a legend and great to have you on board the bus.
Thanks for having us there. And hopefully Mullingar and all Westmeath will respond positively.
Excellent. So there you are, folks. As I said, we're coming to you live from the bus, and once again to Willie, who is on board the bus. As the man says, we could chat here all day, but look, once again, we're wrapping it up here. Thanks a million, Willie, and we'll chat to you very soon indeed.
Okay, right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.